Good afternoon. In this video, we're going to go over this week's watch list. Before I get into the video, I just want to say that if you're not in the room, you can find the link in the description of the video and in the bio section of social media. I gotta check the economic calendar this week. I don't think much is gonna really happen this week because of being a short week. We have FOMC coming up soon, so let me just check to make sure that Powell's not making any. Let's see. No, I don't see anything. No, just our usual numbers we get in the morning. The unemployment rate and PPI and stuff like that. So nothing happening really much on the economic calendar this week. So I'll start with the bullish side. Now I have ZM up, Zoom, because it had a massive ER gap down, and it's kind of flagging. I mean, this could go either way, to be honest. I mean, below 288, it could end up just going down to 280, 275. You get a big inverse cup and handle on the weekly, I mean. So, I mean, you don't know. I mean, this thing could go down to 200. I mean, most of this rally was because of COVID. So now that COVID's pretty much calming down a little bit, or not in the news nearly as much. I mean, but I'm looking at it for a reversal. I think if it gets over 300, I'd be watching over 300. So this is why I have it on the bullish side. I think it could make a dead cat bounce and fill the gap. But like I said, it could go a lot lower too. So, but I'm only interested on the upside. So I would watch it over 300 for push, probably for the big fat round numbers of 310, 320, 330, and 340 and stuff like that. So I would be watching Zoom. Roku, another one I'd be watching. I mean, it got hammered last week. Had a little bit of a dead cat bounce on Friday. So I'm watching it for a push over Friday's highs of 344 for a push to 350. Then you get this area right here of 355, 360. Then you get 370 area, which has been where it's been struggling right here. If it gets over that, you probably a push to 375, 380. So Roku could just could go lower too. I mean, you just never know what's going to end up happening. Roku just had a really bad day on Thursday. Then I had bad news on Friday with Amazon wanting to start going onto the TVs too, so compete with Roku. But Roku will probably end up recovering and going over to 400 again, because every time it usually gets under this 350 area, it doesn't stay on there too long. I mean, it's made a few runs to 400, a couple of runs to 400. So I wouldn't be a bit surprised if it ends up going up to 400 again. So I would watch Roku for a bounce over Friday's highs. Just a lot of stocks that have gotten beaten down from earnings. DLTR, Dollar Tree is another one. Just had a big earnings gap down, and now we're coming into retail season, Christmas season, and we'll probably end up seeing a nice strong move into the retail sector this fall, like Target, Walmart, Lululemon, Dollar Tree, and stuff like that. So I would watch it over Friday's high of 90, let's say 93.50. You can even round up to 94 for push to gap resistant, which is right here at 98. Now it could push through and fill the gap up to 100, but I would assume that it's probably going to get to 98 and stall out and probably try to consolidate before making a run and filling the gap. So I would watch DLTR. Target, like I said, Target's up there too. Retail sector, and every time Target has a dip, and it's not really much of a dip, every time it gets down to the 20 EMA on the weekly, it bounces, so it's almost down there on the weekly. So I would watch it over plus the Target does not like to dip that much. I mean, look at here on the daily. I mean, it dipped and it just got bought back up. It dipped here. I mean, these dips on Target are pretty much a gift. They don't dip very much, and when they do, they recover pretty fast. So that's why I'm watching Target over we'll say 245, 246 for a push to 250. It gets to 250, 250 area, 255, then you get 260. So I would not be a bit surprised if Target's back to all-time high probably in the next few weeks. Microsoft is another one. Now, I've been watching Microsoft on the short side for a pullback to 300, but it's been consolidating right here. I would not be surprised if it ends up making another breakout move, because every time you think Microsoft's going to end up dropping or it's out of steam, it just ends up breaking out more. So I would watch it over 302 for push to 305 all-time highs, and probably push to, if it gets over all-time highs of 305.84, it's probably going to push to 310. So I would watch that. Now UPS is another one. UPS going into the Christmas season again, people are probably going to end up buying a lot online because if they make COVID passports mandatory to go in retail stores like they're doing here in Canada and other parts of the country and the world, that people will probably end up buying more online, and that will help Amazon and online retailers like that. So UPS will end up, and FedEx will end up doing really well this fall with the Christmas season and online shoppers. So I would watch. Plus, it's right at gap resistance right here at 199. I would push it. I would watch over 199 for push to 200. It gets over 200, it's probably going to fill the gap to 210. So I would definitely watch UPS. Now, Visa we were looking at on Friday. We played, had a very strong day down on Friday. So this was a nice little dead cat bounce right here. Is this Friday right here? Yeah. No, that wasn't Friday. This was Thursday. Yeah, Thursday. That was the big red day. But I would watch it over. Let's see, Friday's high of 227 for push to 230, 232, 234, 236. Then you get 238, 240. Basically, almost every $2, every round, every whole dollar, Visa could end up having a little bit of resistance, and every time it dips, it ends up being a nice little bounce on the weekly. So we've had 3 red candles right here, and we've had 4 right here. So I would not be surprised if we end up seeing Visa over 235, 240 this week. So definitely watch for a bounce play on that. Pins is another one I've been watching for weeks. Every time it starts to look like it's strong, it just has trouble breaking out. But this past Wednesday it did pretty good. Then on Thursday and Friday it pulled back a little bit. So rejecting the 20 EMA. So next time it does end up going for the 58 level right here, that it's probably going to end up pushing to 61 area. So the gap resistance is right here at the 50 area. So if it does break gap resistance this time, I think I remember even saying that if it gets to the 61 area, it's going to probably pull back and make an inverted head and shoulders. And you see the left shoulder right there in the head. It could still end up doing that, or it could just break through. So yeah, I would watch it over 57 to 58 to push it to 59 and 60. So I would watch pins. Now on the short side, Netflix, I know that I was saying watching Netflix to break out last week and stuff like that, but it did break out. It did get over, make new all-time high. Got close to 600 now. It can make another run to 600 before pulling back, but all these candles are outside the daily Keltner channel. Anytime they're outside the Keltner channel on the daily or the weekly, they just get slammed down. So I would watch for Netflix to pull back down to 583 for push to 575, 570, even 565, 560, 555, 550. It's been staying in this little $100 channel right here for 480 to 580. So I would not be a bit surprised if Netflix does end up pulling back to the 560 level. As you can see, that's a pretty big level on the daily right there, and it'll be within the inside of the Keltner channel. That will probably be right where the 20 EMA is, and anytime it gets too far away from the 20 EMA, it likes to come down and retest it like it did right here. So that's what I'll be watching for in Netflix. And the last one is BA. BA had some bad news over the weekend. So BA just is, it was stair-stepping. Now it's making lower highs on the weekly and obviously in the daily, and it's just been chopping in this little area. Now it had bad news, but BA's tricky. BA likes to pop on bad news and drop on good news, so we'll have to see how it acts on Monday about the news. So I'd watch it underneath, let's see, Friday's lows of 217 for push 215. You get a gap fill right here at 214. 211, 210 area could be the area it could possibly try to bounce. If it doesn't, you get the next big area is right around the 205, 200 area. So we'll have to see if BA does pull back. Now, BA, like I said, just because it had bad news doesn't mean it has to drop. It could end up popping and making a run to the 220 area, because it's been kind of chopping in this 217 to 222 area, 223 area for the last week or so. So it does need to break out of this channel, so we'll have to see which way it does go. So I think either way, even if it does manage to break out and gets over this 223 area, you could see a strong move too, so up to the upside of 235, 240. So I'd be watching both directions on that. Like I said, BA acts weird towards news, so got to keep that in mind. So that's going to do it for the watch list. I'm just trying to keep it simple this week. Short week. Obviously, today's Labor Day. Markets closed today, and we only have 4 days this week. The volume will probably be light. Next week is where we should start seeing the big players back and volatility coming back and stuff like that. So with that said, please be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And that's going to do it. Thanks for watching.